Okay, so excuse me if I'm a little bit out of breath. After spending the night in Milford Sound on a fantastic overnight cruise, I headed to the east side of the South Island. This area is known as the Catlins, and this is the reason why I came. It's called Nugget Point. There's a really nice viewing deck at the end there, and it's full of people. This is not a busy area of the country, but if you're here, you're probably here for this. So it was rather busy, and I'd say you can get your stereotypical tourist shot. I arrived early enough, so I'm just sort of scouting around looking for unique composition opportunities, and on my way back I saw some markings in on the side of the cliff here, and I decided to climb up. It was a little bit steeper than I thought. It was a bit of a stairmaster. Sheer cliff. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but it is straight down. So I'm perched up here on the ledge. Hopefully I'll be able to find a better way back, because that was not fun. And I would like to catch the sunrise here. This is the east side, so that is something I definitely would not be comfortable climbing in the dark, even with a little bit of a light. There were times where you really have to be careful and you're climbing right on the edge of the cliff. So I think it rewards you with a very unique, amazing composition opportunity, but at the same time, I'm not sure I could recommend it just due to the danger. The sun's setting behind, so of course it's all illuminated really nicely. I'm going to try and get one of these shots, and like I said, I'll hopefully be able to get a nice sunrise shot as well. Once again, I've been blessed or cursed with a very clear day, so not too much of an atmosphere to add to the scene here, but I'll make do. It's a beautiful drive here, although a little bit on a gravel road. And then there's a little bit of a walk here, and you might catch a glimpse of penguins. You'll hear seals down below. So definitely really rewarding place. So I think this is the composition I'm going to use. I get a nice view of both the lighthouse and these very unique rocks that sit out from the shore. So yeah, I'll get set up and I'll see what I can make of this. Okay, so I've switched to my 16 to 35, and I'm shooting at 35. So I'm far enough away that even at 35, it's quite a wide landscape. Because of my position, I'm able to catch both the lighthouse as well as the path up to the lighthouse, which I think is really interesting. And I'm able to capture all of those rocks that are in the outcropping there. I'm just shooting with the polarizer here. Normally with water, I like to smooth it out with an ND filter, but there's some really nice waves and swirls that are happening here, and I kind of like to capture them in motion. So shooting at with the circular polarizer on, just to reduce some of the glare that's coming off the water. F11, ISO 100, I'm getting about 1/80th, 1/100th of a second. I think I might have arrived here just a bit too late. There's some fairly distracting shadows just because the sun's hit a bit low, and of course I'm up on the mountain. So I do think this is the composition that I like, but I might have to come out here on another sunset and come just a little bit earlier and try and capture the shot without the distracting shadows. Well, good morning. I rushed here in the morning, so I don't have too much to show you while I was taking my shot, unfortunately, but I'm at the same spot I was last night, and thankfully, because I did come here early enough last night, I was able to find a much easier, safer way to get here, so I was able to do it in the dark, getting ready for sunrise. It was really great. I checked, those apps that give you the sun location, and it came up perfectly right between the rocks and the lighthouse, so it was framed quite nicely. I think it worked very well. Clouds cooperated, so I got the sun just about at the horizon line, and some very interesting clouds to add to the atmosphere and help spread the color throughout the scene. So really happy I woke up at 5 a.m. for this. I think it was totally worth it. I tried to get my drone up in the air because this is a dream from an aerial perspective, but it's a really nice morning, but it's very windy, so I was getting constant wind notifications from the app, so I just wasn't able to do some things. I wasn't able to risk it, so maybe I'll come here again and try it again. Otherwise, you can't control weather. So this is one of my favorite shots from New Zealand, and I guess it's a little bit unfortunate because I made a bit of a mistake when I was shooting it, and that was shooting at ISO 3200. In a nutshell, it was a mistake that I made because I was switching back between video and still photos. I had to bump my ISO for the videos to expose properly, and then when I switched back to stills, I had forgotten to switch back to the base ISO. So it kind of introduced a little bit of noise and degradation in quality of the photo, but thankfully not too much. And the silver lining is that I was able to actually get a faster shutter speed, which froze the water surface, and I ended up liking it quite a bit more that way. So it looked really nice, and this was the perfect moment in time where the sun coming above the horizon, that sunlight just cascaded really beautifully across the ocean surface. So I kind of really decided this was the shot I wanted, even though all the technical details weren't exactly as I wanted. The moment was still captured just as I had hoped. So it worked out really well, and really happy with the photo. It's just a really good reminder, if you're out shooting, check your settings, double check your settings, make sure they're exactly how you want them to be. I had made a little bit of a last minute decision to shoot here the following morning sunrise as well, just as I was sort of leaving town, heading up the coast. I didn't really know what I was going to do, but I wanted to try a different shot from ground level, really capture more of the path leading up to the lighthouse. When I had arrived, there were already 2, maybe 3 other photographers there. They'd already set up their tripods, so I sort of had to line up with them just so I wasn't, getting in their way. So I was a little bit restricted in some of my compositions, unfortunately. There was another couple sort of out in front. I think they had attached their GoPro to the railing, and they were doing a little bit of a time-lapse at sunrise, so depending on sort of what our compositions looked like, they might have been included in some of those shots. So after a little bit of time, I went up to them and I'm like, oh, can I ask you guys a huge favor? And I think their immediate response was sort of like, oh, you want us to move out of the way? And I was like, no, I want to actually get you guys in my shot. So they happily agreed, and I sort of got them to come a little bit more into the path, directed them for a few shots, and it was sort of the perfect moment. The sun was coming right over the cliff edge, and the sun was sort of sneaking through, and it sort of just basked them in this morning light, and it was a really beautiful moment. It was so unplanned. I didn't know what I was going to shoot that morning. I didn't expect them to be there. And it all just came together really beautifully, and it is also one of my favorite shots from New Zealand. And we've been emailing back and forth, sort of reliving our time in New Zealand, talking about the great times, and they told me that they're expecting a baby actually. So, it kind of just brings everything back together, and it's so exciting that I was able to capture this moment for them during this exciting time in their life. And, I hope they like it as much as I do, and I hope it's a great memory for them. And yeah, I'm just so happy I was able to capture it for them.